Meeting to discuss board meeting of the Ambridge Area School District is held on Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. This meeting is being held to review the agenda for the regular monthly board meeting that will be held on Wednesday, August 20th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the high school auditorium. Please join us for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This meeting is being recorded for district purposes. It is or may be published in part or its in entirety on the district website without the express permission of meeting participants. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Ferragonia,
Here.
Mrs. Fisher, Ms. Fitzko,
Here.
Mrs. Kehoe,
Here. Kathy.
Mr. Kovacevic,
Here.
Mrs. Ramasco,
Here.
Mrs. Scott,
Here.
Mr. Zachi,
Here.
Mr. Carpenter,
Here.
8 present.
Jen, Kathy said here.
Oh, she's on the phone?
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
all right.
Thank
Okay.
you. May we have the sunshine law, please?
The Board of School Directors held an executive session on Wednesday, August 13th to discuss personnel matters subject to attorney-client privilege and other confidentiality laws, litigation or threat litigation matters, sensitive public safety issues, salary schedule, and labor relations.
Okay, thank you. Any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Any amendments on the agenda? Okay, thank you. With that, I believe we now have a presentation by ABC Transit for the 25-26 year. The floor is yours. Are you going to be using the display or just?
Christian, I have emailed that to you. I emailed that to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
You all are here this evening to last year's school year into various this upcoming school year. Just wanted to keep so in mind to say time this evening. So Basically, we're here to give everyone a snapshot of what we were doing over the summer, and where we stand right now in preparation for the first day of school next week. So over the summer, we knew we needed to address a multitude of items in order to be successful with the start of school year this year. We needed to train staff that was in CDL class, we needed to find additional staff. We needed to take routes that were combined last year and separate them so they could operate independently. We needed to make sure that we did not have drivers leveling back to impact children arriving early, late, we dismissed early, late. We needed to begin the school year on a complete fresh start with everything operating. So over the summer, we worked on the routing process. We started much earlier this year than last year to make sure that all the rollover was done. We had new students in the system and seniors out. We had route sheets for every single vehicle that was operating in the district. We went out and evaluated all the equipment, so we could make sure if we needed to bring in large buses to accommodate certain areas that we would have them. We decided to look into driver pay, the bonuses that were offered, and the structures that we have internally to find a way to make it for drivers to want to continue to service the Ambridge area school district and to want to come in and join the team. And then again, we continued our CDL class. We made it more accessible, held more classes, had more trainers come down from within the company to make sure that all of those that were interested or in class could be tested and ready to go and have ample time to learn their runs so that they could be successful for day one. So right now, we're going to start out with the difference between last year and this year. So between last year and this year, we had 3 CDL big bus drivers that could not return due to medical reasons, and 1 mini bus driver, 2 van drivers. How the good news. 3 van drivers completed their CDL training over the summer and are ready to move on. Another applicant is joining us from a different bus company that came into us with their CDL and is ready to go. We made 6 big bus driver internal transfers within the company that are coming down to join the Ambridge area school district team here. We have 2 in class currently. One will be testing tomorrow, and the other one probably won't be ready for day 1 of school, but in the very early stages of the school year getting started. Okay. And we have a new class scheduled already for September for any of the new employees that are coming in that might be interested in joining to get their CDL. So right now, where it starts and stands right now, we have all of our big buses back on the road operating independently. We do not have buses doing multiple tiers or layers or combinations of a run. We have, with all of our internal transfers that have come over and all of our new hires and all that moved up, not only are we staffed, but we no longer have office staff as ourselves scheduled and as of right now at this moment every day driving. So that gives us the opportunity to float, to cover things, help some that might need a little additional help the first 2 days of school to help the kids that need to know where to get off, especially the little kindergartners. We have much more flexibility. We do currently have 2 van routes that are open, and we are not short-staffed with monitors, but we're always looking for more monitors because as the school year starts, we find it easy on some of the buses to have aides, or we have kids that transfer in and out of the district that may require monitors for outside of the placement, so we're always hiring. I mean, we're always hiring, period, but we're always hiring, especially in the monitors. We brought down new equipment for the start of this school year. In time to bringing down the new equipment, we were also able to get new team housing, which means when you see ABC Transit 10 and 26 driving down the road, and you see a 104 in the window, That actually is A114, and that actually is your bus. We have also implemented a new procedure for this school year. If we need to take 1026 off the road and it isn't A104 that day, we will, for this entire school year, be using bright orange paper that will say route number on it and be displayed in the bus. So if your bus that day is 1025 and not 1026, you know that your child is coming from that A104 route because we will have it clearly marked for everyone to see. We did shift the driver and monitor wages for this school year. Instead of them being paid per day, we switched them to per hour, and we have given them guarantees so that they won't make any less than a specific amount of money, which was a pretty significant raise for everybody. We are keeping our referral bonuses in place. We are keeping our safety and attendance bonuses in place for everyone. So with that shift, we had our meeting actually this morning. It was scheduled before this evening, but everybody was in attendance and everybody was very excited with the change. They had been waiting for it. They were excited, and it gave us a really positive energy that they were communicating that throughout the community, and hopefully bringing in more people that are interested that might be on the fence with some other districts. When it comes to the routing, as we promised to do last year when we stood here before you, we stuck to the timeline of the routing that we had said. We had established deadlines at the end of last school year to make sure that we were in a place that we would not be struggling or suffering at the beginning of the school year. And we have met every single deadline. All bus cards went out. We were able to identify 2 road closures that are still going to unfortunately impact some of our buses. Conway Walrus Road is a 4 to 6 week delay, and Biggs 53 Road is still not open. So anyone that attended either an in-district or out-of-district school, we were able to identify what would be impacted, reroute the buses, provide more information to the district, and they were kind enough to contact all the families and make them aware of the temporary bus stop change to the need. We brought in a new terminal manager. It starts from the top, right? Things aren't working, it starts from the top. So we brought Ryan Cunningham. Ryan has to come this evening so we can meet everyone in the community and within the district. Ryan comes from another bus company and has over 20 years of experience, so he has been here for part of the school year last year and has learned everything he needs to learn to be successful and will be a good leader to start this school year. Michael Hope has also joined us this evening. Michael will be in all of the routing over the summer to make sure that we met every single deadline. And I know the routing job with software sounds like it's easy, but it's really not. And we're very appreciative that he took the lead in that today, and that we can stand here before you and tell you that we're ready to start the school year. We hired another dispatcher so that we can have 2 people in the office dispatching that can split their time on great days or be there together to be able to support each other more on the not so good days. And in summary to all of this, we just want to again thank everyone for allowing us the time this evening to come and do the presentation. We wanted to make sure that the board, that the teachers, that the district, and that the entire community knew that we were very serious about making changes over the summer to be better for this school year. And we are here to tell you that we have followed through on the things that we said last year, and that we're really looking forward to a fresh start. There are going to be some bumps in the road the first couple of weeks of school, as in any school year, but we are in a much better position to work through those bumps and to be able to get everything ready together. So I very much appreciate your time, and thank you very much.
I want to add as well, Fox, some of the people that we had transferred from other facilities to here are people that we worked with for years. So exactly for employees fit here, we know they're reliable, we know they're good drivers, they work for us for years. So it's not like the normal summer churn of, we don't know how good these people are gonna be, the first couple of weeks. We know these people, they're good people, so they're gonna be great additions, that we see them out, space we don't recognize. Say hello to them, really good people. And they can use encouragement as all the same.
Opening. Right now, we should be have a plan. Of those, right, these don't have, one gentleman who intends on testing, but has not tested yet. And we still have a bunch of internal ladies. People available. And I think that this guy would start, so if English goes back on the 21st, a lot of our other districts, like the schools or other districts might go back to the 25th or the 28th after Labor Day. So we already have people committed the first couple of days of school, first couple of weeks. But we keep people in the office answering the phone, answering the emails. And then hopefully by then we have the rest of the internal moves made. But again, I would feel more comfortable. We had more van drivers come in the door, so we have some backup. But we have our name. And then one day bus. One day bus. After the jump test tomorrow, that would be one day bus. But we never been have. Family dispatch are not driving, family they're not driving, and Ryan driving, we have. Supplemental officer Linda not driving, so yes, we have. Should they want, show the best thing. And. We're just, and then. Yeah. And then there were some that. Route that got corrected. We did talk very briefly before the meeting, there was calls that came in today, some of the information was a little bit inaccurate, some of it was accurate, yeah, I can go with that. I know, right?
So, yeah, any, regarding grants, there's some anomalies. In things that happen, case goes around parents and they things. So, yeah, I mean, constantly talking to the school every day, probably up to about 30 to 40 emails a day, just back and forth, making sure everything's right. And yeah, we just said it's like parents, it's not playing, or the school service, making much like stories as well. So it's forward constantly, massaging the ranks, making sure we're all correct. Essentially, the learning phases. We got some these ways in place. You don't really know how that's going to work, how well it's going to work, if it's sitting in here. We plan it out, so we actually start playing it, see how well it goes, and then we'll modify it. And the place of what we need to change. If you have radios broken, we'll repair it, make sure that those.
We're starting to do our driver runs now on students, but that gets you pretty close. Where sometimes, you know, how bus stops are, and you take 3 minutes to load or 30 seconds. So it's, we're still going to need to tweak it for the first couple of days. So, right. So different than last year. So it's
Just one final thing today, it's something in education, the parents, don't plan full sets for us. To realize there are certain roads you can take buses on, there are certain places, certain buses. All the way around, and there's some parents, but looking at the length of the road, and not realizing that we have to go through 3 or 4 different plans, so. And then I'm taking time, so parent, when you're looking for cars, so then you're going away to school, but it takes 25 minutes to get the child home. This is a little bit interacting, so that's certainly. But some people, especially in parents, this year, so they don't learn. But as I said, Crystal knows me, taking care of this, being in this business 18 years now, so. I think you're in a good shape, but if we're not, we'll take some of the things serious.
Shows fun. I think that much fun and digital deal with that much behind. That got parents that last year to have
we had a significant increase this year.
Okay.
To get us more money.
The beginning decisions, there's not such a bad thing, which one is July.
It's with that higher guarantee of 3 hours, kind of what we went to. So it's going to get a minimum amount of money, even if it's a short one, right? So that helps. But going to hourly for all the different areas,
incentivized tremendously, but then we have people fighting for the long runs, which we normally end up doing because everyone wants the shortest runs. Now they're fighting for the long runs, they're going to make more money. It's better for everyone.
Being graduates, you know, so great itself, but if you had it, you know, but,
Yes. It's not, exactly.
right, I just want to make sure it's just, you know,
Right.
but,
It wasn't working, so we had to.
Being that we are now staffed, we're not trying to use many people to accomplish work by task, it will get better. Having 7 or 8 buses all leaving at the exact same time during dismissal is always going to be a struggle. But the fact that we now have extra people, and on certain days now, there will be availability to combination on routes where, let's say last year, we had a big bus that we had already placed in the middle store, and they want from the to the store, and now it's just a baby bus. Maybe that driver could do a drop for us to a local, let's say, or community drinking on, or, you know, somewhere locally that we could do a drop off and go to Maiden and then come back. So it does give us a little more flexibility, but again, we're not gonna get false, you know. If we have 7 buses all leaving at 2:30 in the afternoon, there is only so many people that we have, but it will significantly better. Because we're not going to use 4 people to do things.
Another major improvement for this year, we got rid of a lot of our older buses, so reliability is playing another factor. And drivers being pleased with what they're driving, it helps. You're driving a newer vehicle, better for reimbursement for the school districts, so good stuff.
Also, people that use software and currently, we're not going to allow the person who is slow to monitor it with us somewhere else. But it will be more of like a kind of login system, so we'll be able to better see in real time, what swings that you want to run. So we're not relying on looking each saying on the board and deciding what time the students are to be here. So that also is in focus, because we have someone coming in at a certain time and their route doesn't need to go for a while. Maybe there's some flexibility to that, maybe we can move and add a little bit more, which, you know, makes it more flexible during sports season for covering management school time. So as like a mother trying to school starts, you don't want to have too many things happen. They can focus, but that's definitely giving them improvement requirements.
I just have a question. I know, my question is about the road closure on the that down the line. But because the way it's happening, I'm taking that traffic on the London, get all on the street.
Yeah.
So it isn't then further down the road and going on 12 Road. Have another place, so it seems like you're saying a lot better term that law. Where the traffic's all being from. And I would think that was so significant, maybe behind.
Maybe could you, I mean, I think looked at different times of the day and I don't think it's gonna keep doing that, because there's something that we've got traffic on those areas. But again, we use names and names, so we can try and eliminate as much of that as possible. And where we use, for example, one bus, if we're already going to need some really quick. It's now just going to be done straight at once, so the other stops may go to the events or to another bus, so we can completely remove that, so that's a lot less driving and losses to do. So that fuel is that way, a little more, which should compensate for us. Again, we just have to see the rest of the service school run and the idea if that's going to work.
Same one of the factors, it's so hard to guess, is we don't know what school traffic's gonna be, parents bringing, you know, all the staff and parents and all those people, we're gonna have to adjust if we have to. We make the best guess possible what it's gonna be. I've been through there a couple of times in less than a week, and you're there all the time, but it's traffic that I was just sitting there. What do you think?
I know like right around that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you're coming, you're trying to, a lot of times I come down Shaker Road, if I turn on the airport. Like the traffic coming off Bixby, brings like.
Yeah, I said, yeah, we just have to see how it goes, but I think the way it goes, and like the end of the stops, where the road is focused on, probably always, you need to pick up to the road. Okay, so the road already they permission to be there. So the buses that they normally come down, so probably always, all these come down anymore. So now you can have a shorter right spot. So that's times that they would have another 6 or 7 minutes of picking up these. But they no longer have, so they can go ahead and then come around and take the lead for that very quickly, which is not that problem to use on. So we've done everything we can our internet as it says, it is trying to figure it out. Looking at it on the screen, me going out and driving it, figuring it out, it's great, but it's just we've got hits on board and additional traffic by storm starts. We'll immediately go and these things and changes. And we'll go straight on that. So.
Are gonna have a problem when everybody starts driving. As everybody does going up now 65 and the end of the road. Traffic increases, then the wait times with the delays increases by about 20 minutes. Every year's storms, everybody knows that. Same thing's gonna happen coming down Shaker. Everybody's gonna want to start coming to school going to Robert Morris. Towards not Shaker, you're gonna have wait times. On the hill, it's a far great time. And it's a door on the road, and you're coming onto the stops and through.
I think at this point, our struggle is, do we say we need to move it to 20 to 25 minutes before we really know and where everybody, oh my goodness, that's why I think it's so long? Or do we see what the real time traffic is and know, okay, maybe we need to have to stop at 15 minutes? That's what we're starting with.
Start driving the routes now.
Drivers.
Why did you start doing that?
Just we didn't have to store it back or not until Monday, we got them yesterday and called me today. So not everything was finalized to go out for the district until Monday, so it is very not wise to give a driver's sheet and then call them 2 days later and say, change.
Drive it on the route.
Sorry.
Even if it was a driver that was on the route, why wasn't your team, as the supervisor, the managers, taking some of those drives to see how the routes work? Previous month ago.
Road closures?
Any drive, and I'm guessing you're using the area as well, sir.
No.
You're from.
I've been here 21 years.
Okay, just, I wasn't sure, just checking.
So, yeah, when I did that, I've been out driving around, many of changes. Most of the rates every year, 99% of them don't change, because the bus stops were established. The new student go to existing stop. The only thing that's changed is the closures. And as soon as I spoke to Ben up, is the one, probably was supposed to do, but sometime this week already, next week, for, Ben up and they got back to me and said, okay, they found out there's going to be another 6 or 7 weeks. So that hopefully will stay through. So by the time we settle down, that will be the thing. Personal changes.
If you identified that after large buses, how many large buses have been shared? That's the only district I care about. Five large bus service.
We refer to the larger bucket with the, or the typical percent.
So when we look at the contract, we identify the size of the buses, the number of buses that were originally identified in the contract. We have equipment to cover the number of buses that was identified in that contract versus what you're identifying as needed today. Because it sounds like if you have 5 large buses, how long are the students on those 5 large buses on average? The first that picks up, by the time they get to an hour and 10 minutes on all 5 of these buses, or is it just 1 or 2 of the large buses, or let's say the next set down of buses, that take a little bit longer for some of those buses need to go smaller, because I'm not a bus person, I don't know 84 versus 70 versus 46.
So
We're not using the larger buses to extend the route, it's only to be able to gather more kids and come up with bigger stops that would be more, urban and rural, so to speak. So right now, most of our buses are running. But those are the ones that are red, that are on. So the ones coming from the economy, the outline are getting closer to 37. The ones that are more local and more like
Okay, thank you to ABC for that presentation and spending that time with us. I appreciate it. This time, district residents may come forward to comment on agenda items only. Each person must state their first and last name and address prior to speaking. Each resident will be allowed 3 minutes and can speak only once. This period for public comment prior to the standing committee reports will be limited to 1/2 hour. Although not required, board members desiring to address questions or concerns may do so after the residents' comments or questions or at the conclusion of the committee reports. There will still be an opportunity for residents to comment on any new business or any business relevant to the Ambridge Area School District under old and new business at the end of the meeting.
So my first concern is, the handbook and internet and policy. The board will be voting on this, one day before the start of the school year. That's a slap in the face of parents who have been asked to prepare for performance. This decision should be made at the end of class year before over the summer. Not a last minute decision when families are already preparing or already prepared. That children answers. If the board fully believes in transparency and respect our community, like I said, this would have been done last year throughout the summer. Yet the same student or has been brought to my attention by multiple individuals that the reason why we haven't that policy is due to a student which we all know brought a firearm into school. It's brought to my attention by multiple members within the community that same student is walking the street at all our students. I know you can't speak on disciplinary actions, this or for a particular student. However, I find it funny that we have that student who is causing uproar throughout the community, allowed to walk through our district, through our schools, and yet our families are still paying. That has nothing to do with this. Zero tolerance is zero tolerance. Allowing them back undermines the zero tolerance policy. It sets the precedent that safety violations of this magnitude are negotiable, and it should not be. Second, the vision of the mission. Our stadium was revitalized, I think, roughly 20 years ago. That age myself. Business side at that time was like that. Now, the district wants to spend almost $100,000 to demolish those bleachers, and I haven't seen any plans to rebuild those bleachers or what we're going to do with that space. We have an incredible stadium, one that we need to be monetizing on. But without visitor seating, we're limiting what we can do, such as larger events. The stadium itself is not open to the public. So I know myself, whenever I was growing up, we could go to the stadium, we had access to the field, we had access to the track, we could run the track, we could run the steps, walk the steps. A lot of older members or senior members within our community has expressed concern that they do not have the ability to walk the track or walk the steps. This community itself is an asset, and we should be building it up, not tearing it down. I urge you to reconsider these approaches and prioritize our safety measures over parents and make decisions that truly serve our community.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. Mr. Gill, what you're going to find if you're a successful candidate to the school board next year is that can't just throw students out. And students have as many rights, sometimes more than, sometimes at least maybe some of us feel like more at times than victims do, right? So I appreciate your comment, and sometimes we, certainly before I got on this board, I was like, throw them out. They cause a lot of trouble, throw them out. What do you do? Well, we can't, right? So that's the short answer on that. Bags, well, I don't know that anybody is projected from this board, certainly not me, that any bag rules would change. Now, the votes are going to be what they're going to be. But my position is, having a daughter that goes in this building and is a current student in this district, my position is, I agree, zero tolerance. So if we're going to take a zero tolerance position, why would we then take away one more tool that our professionals, safety, people doing the safety inspections, our SROs, and the people that are trying to keep our kids safe, why would we take one more tool away from them? I know as a parent, I can only, let me finish, thanks, you had your time. I know as a parent, you know, we're going to buy clear backpacks like everybody else. And I know there's a lot of programs out there to help people that maybe can't, but boy, if one clear backpack helps somebody find something that might have caused harm, what do we even, I mean, that to me isn't an issue, but I'm one of 9. So we'll see how that turns out. On the stadium, you mentioned you've seen no plans. I'll only say that this was something that wasn't planned for the district. It was done through an inspection that caused the turn of events that we did not foresee. And those plans are in the works. I also think that, well, again, I'll only speak for me. I believe the administration's intention, and certainly my intention, is to look for replacing seats. What those seats look like, what the new version of that looks like. I don't know that it's going to be a concrete structure that seats, what did it seat, 3,000 people, or, yeah, I don't know that that's today's environment anymore. The other schools that I go to that are newer, with newer construction, newer planning, the visitor side looks much different in size and structure than maybe the home side does. So I think we're still working through what that looks like. But I don't know. Again, I shouldn't say that. I myself, I envision visitor stands on the other side, and I believe that's the intention at this point. But those plans are all still in the works. And right now, we're dealing with pulling down something that is required to be pulled down. And really safety is at the first most of, or at the forefront of that decisioning at this point. If it's an unsafe structure, let's get the structure down. That's really the first step. And we're working on building all the rest of the steps to that. So does anybody have anything else to add to that, Dr. Pascarella? Or
No, I think you were pretty clear on that as far as the visitors bleachers goes. I think you summarized that well. And it will also, be my recommendation as well to replace visitor side bleachers to some extent. I think most people will probably want to do that. And through the discussion with the board and others, we'll probably come to terms on what we think is the most acceptable version of the replacement for that. So, yes, that's where I stand on that. But I do agree that is how, I won't restate what you said for the sake of time, but that is how it occurred. Trying to make some general repairs turned into, we better look into this more, and this is where we're at on that. Thank you.
okay, thank you. Anyone else?
You guys kind of get that in the
Why
plastic ring. But if he hid the gun in a violent way, that negates the safety of. My other issue with this district is I transferred my daughter in March of last school year to come back here so she could graduate with her friends. I have gotten so many runarounds with this. I really believe. I was told that she was in the system 2 weeks ago. Yes, she may not possibly have her schedule, orientation today. Now I find out she's not even in the system except for at the visible FDA site. They don't have those files. And now I may not even be able to let her do her class walk because she couldn't do it today because she had no schedule. She didn't even make her a favor just so she could walk around and just get the classes. So is there anything you're gonna do about those issues or? Well,
I've taken notes on that. I think that's something does anybody have any update on that or is something we need to check down?
Well, what I would just say is, before you leave, if you have to leave at any point, if we don't have your information exactly, your student name and grade that's transferring in, if you could leave that with either myself or Dr. Filipowski, the assistant, we'll check into that. Someone will reach back out to you as to where we stand. First of all,
secretary, she never had one. Now, she said she's gonna talk to Kathy Hopkins, but does that mean that's gonna happen? In the first day of school next week?
oh, first,
Yeah, go ahead.
first of all, welcome back. I'm glad that you are coming back. That's first and foremost. We're excited to have you. And I apologize for anything that may have occurred. Sometimes there's, information that I need to look into. So I think I got the gist of what you said, but if you could leave, your name, student's name, grade level, where they're transferring with one of us. I mean, if you don't have paper, even someone here could write that down, then we will have somebody follow up with you on what maybe if there are any issues on re-enrollment or where the file is and try to work on making a schedule as soon as possible to get that to you as soon as we can. Okay. I can't see why Dr. Zubik, I think she's here. We couldn't have somebody show her around to her classes after you make that schedule. Sounds like you have an appointment to make the schedule then? Oh. Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, we'll follow up on that. If you could get that information and make sure we have that and we'll work towards making sure we get that adjusted. And I'm sure somebody will be able to show her where the classes are.
Can we clarify the binder?
The binder, if I heard what was stating there, and I know the principals put the list out, but I'm assuming they want plastic binders because they would not go off in the Evolve system. If you had a metal binder, then they're going to go off consistently, so they're discouraged.
So, right, so if there was something per se hidden in a binder that had plastic, it would still go off in the Evolve, but it's gonna falsely go off if there's metal rings.
That
Am
is,
I correct?
in general, I will always say that even Evolve is not a 100% error proof, although it is a high-end system. So not trying to dodge your question, but
Sure,
yes, that's the general idea.
but we're now allowing plastic binders with plastic rings because it won't
It wouldn't set
trigger
it
the
up.
system. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, let's not,
Well, this is what I know you do what you need to do, but let me explain that a little clearer because maybe I wasn't. The idea, at least as it was explained to me in the Evolve system, is as a weapon, because the binder, 3-ring binder of metal represents 3 different rings, it can pick it up and think it could be detected as a weapon. So that might help clarify that. That's what I was, so it is a weapons detector. But the metal represents, it can be,
Maybe the shape of it or something. Yeah.
and be close enough that it hits.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to clarify, there is a 25, 26 supply list, and there's no binders on that list for the middle school. I know there was a question on that. The binders were on the 24, 25 school list. So I just want to make sure you're looking at the right list because, we were just comparing.
Did you say for the middle school or the high school? I couldn't hear.
I'm sorry, it was the middle school I was
Okay.
asked about. Yeah. You want me to look at the high school too?
I think so, because I think that's what the parent was referring to.
She's transferring from the middle to the high.
Oh, sorry, we were talking over here.
It's okay.
Thank you. Moving on to legislative action for this evening. Education and Technology, Mrs. Romaska.
Sorry, was there no one else? I didn't hear you ask. if there was
Yeah, I
anybody.
asked.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't quite ready. Okay. Okay, so let me ask a question. Should I read number 1, even though we read it last month? I'll just read it. It's fine. Just to make it easier. Number 1, student handbooks. A, it is recommended to adopt the high school student handbook for the 25-26 school year. B, it is recommended to adopt the middle school student handbook for the 25-26 school year. C, it is recommended to adopt the elementary student handbook for the 25-26 school year. D, it is recommended to adopt the pre-K counts student handbook for the 25-26 school year. And E, it is recommended to adopt the Ambridge Area Cyber Academy handbook for the 25-26 school year. Are there any questions on number 1? Number 2?
I'm sorry.
Did I hear? Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to amend item number 1 to remove the clear backpack language from the elementary, pre-K, middle school, and high school handbooks.
Second.
A motion to amend has been made for items 1, to remove the clear backpacks from the handbooks, for, A through D. The motion to amend has been made and seconded. The next step procedurally would be a debate on the amendment.
Can you just, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is it all the handbooks?
It was all the handbooks.
So I'll go first since I made the motion. I feel that the clear backpacks were a need in an acute time in order to get a proper procedure in place for how to best.
Ms.
search-
Fitzko, I'm sorry. I cannot hear you.
Oh, okay. I feel as though the clear backpacks were an acute thing right after the incident, and it worked at the time. I feel as though we have refined the procedure and policy on the way in as far as searching, dumping bags, and going through items. And I feel that we can move back to regular backpacks and give these kids some normalcy.
Any other discussion?
I have a question. We did go and ask the individuals at each of the facilities that have these scanners what their thoughts were on keeping or not keeping the clear backpacks. What was the overall theme or result of their input from the individuals that are
From the
actually
administration.
scanning
At each
at each
of the
look?
schools.
Right.
So that was our ask last meeting, was to collect the feedback from the folks on the ground, checking each individual student in or guest and all of the administration at each building. Correct? And we collected that feedback.
We did with as many folks as could be there, and it was overall pretty well attended. And so to answer that, I know that you all had that information sent to you, but to share the general consensus was that unanimously the committees that are doing the work the administration, et cetera, police, all continued to recommend at this point to continue with the clear backpacks.
Thank you.
Were there any of them that shared any concern about were concerned about staying with the clear backpacks? Was there anybody that was upset that we were considering moving back to?
Speaking from, I don't want to speak for any one individual, but from myself being there and getting the general tone, I think, there were a lot of folks that were pretty adamant about wanting to stay with the clear book bags. That's the consensus of a majority of the staff. A lot of people said, I second what this individual said, I third what this individual said, plus a little bit more. So I think it was in my professional opinion, listening to the meeting, having Mrs. Mueller take down some notes that were shared with you, I think it was a pretty strong consensus that they felt that it should stay that way at the time.
Was that all 5 buildings?
It was the 2 buildings. We had 2. So we called the folks that are actually using the systems and scanning people in on one meeting like we've typically met. And then we just really met with the principals on the other at the elementary level. There wasn't a specific committee that was doing check-ins there this time.
Right, because they don't search bags in that school, in those schools.
Correct.
And just for clarity, what was the recommendation of the security team, which in this case would be Ambridge Police Department or the chief of police?
Yes, they recommended to remain with the clear backpacks.
Can you, and I know Solicitor Turnbull, you may have to jump in, but can you speak a little bit to the reasoning why they feel more comfortable with us keeping the clear backpacks, the people that are manning the doors? Like, I know, because I read my email, for community
Yeah,
input
that was
and outreach.
fairly well detailed in the email, but
I did read the email, yes. I just would like the community to know.
yep.
To pick it, I'll just try to pick some random thoughts here
Sure.
from different people without listing their name. I'll read them as they were written to the best of Mrs. Mueller's note taking. And then if you want me to read them all, we could do that.
Even just a summary of why they want it to stay this way.
So one individual talked about writing a letter to you as well, as the school board came to, it was a surprise to that individual that we would even consider that. They explained a little bit how the clear backpack they felt would be jeopardizing the safety in a sense. One person said with the students using clear backpacks, if they forget to take an item out, such as, and they share a couple of examples, they would see that ahead of time. Hey, take that out. We'll go ahead and check that for you. That was one thing that they said that would be important, which will allow them to move much faster. You can also see inside the bag much more quickly. Do you see anything else? Maybe even that may not be appropriate for school, even though it may not be a weapon that goes off with evolved. They mentioned that. Some mentioned that other school districts are moving to those as well, large school districts.
Do we know those names of the school districts?
The one that was listed in the notes is Erie Public.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that was listed by the person who stated it. So I didn't vet.
No, I understand now, but I don't know of one in Beaver County. Maybe Allegheny County has one or two,
Yeah.
but you can't even go to Walmart and get a clear backpack in Monaca because Central, Hopewell, they don't have it.
I was just trying to.
No, I
what
understand.
she
You're
said.
summarize the things there, but
Enough or you want more?
my specific question, first question is, has the police chief been there to monitor the check-in when clear bags are implemented?
The chief was there, when we did change the procedure multiple days. I can't say exactly how many, but I remember him being there to the best of my knowledge on a couple days to view it at the middle school. I don't remember the exact date or time, but shortly after the implementation, when we met, we had a team of people up there, and that's what I remember.
We have security equipment, weapons detection systems in place. I know we got grants for them because these are hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what, if we have clear bags, why do we have those? You know, I can go to a Steeler game, I can go to a Pirate game, walk right through with, a small bag. I can have something on my person, I'm not stopped, but my kid has to empty a whole bag. Look at a clear bag. Girls have to have personal items on display in a clear bag for school.
Well, in fairness, at those same games, you're not allowed to bring in a backpack size bag. I mean, my wife's not even allowed to bring her.
Well, I mean, you could fit in a
No,
weapon
you're
in
not.
a purse. I mean, that's.
Well, at any rate, at least from where I said, I don't know if that was necessarily for sure directed to me, but I guess, how I see it is for those reasons, in addition to the committee, that's our recommendation. Whatever the board decides as a majority, that's what they decide, and we'll continue to do our best. But I feel like I have to advocate for the group that's doing it each and every day. And I know, I was up there. I'm not up there every day, but I was up there for a while watching it, and I do think and was involved, in monitoring the process. And for those same and similar reasons, I think it does make it more efficient and it does help. And so the folks on the ground that are helping us do this, which again, I always go back to say I greatly appreciate them, because without them, we wouldn't have the personnel to do that. And quite frankly, I respect what they're trying to do in their opinion. I know they're educators, but if we're going to try to do it, we have to I feel we should also be supporting them. But whatever decision's made, I was just trying to read the notes that she asked me to.
Thank you. I do have a question. So one of the questions, and again, if you can't answer this, it's fine, but one of the questions that I consistently get, I don't know that I have the answer. You may. If they are dumping the bags anyway, why, what is the importance of them being clear? I don't have an answer to that. If you do and you can share, that would be great. If not, then I understand. It's just, this is why you look. This is a very difficult decision, because on one hand, we are looking at the public's concerns. If the backpacks are not readily available, that is a problem. If it's a financial burden, that is a problem. But we are also on the other side looking at a group of individuals who are volunteering their time in the mornings to make sure that our kids are arriving at school safely and that they are safe for the rest of the day. So it's very difficult, at least I'm speaking for myself, it is very difficult to sit here and understand where everybody's coming from in the community, but also understand and try to respect the people that are in there doing the job every single day. So this is why I'm asking, I'm not asking a lot of questions to be difficult. I'm asking them to just provide more knowledge and
So-
help us make a better decision.
So I did try to share a little bit from some of the staff that said that about being able to see things that might be in there and ask them to take that out ahead of time, so that they could check that. That speeds the process up, and they might also see some items that maybe shouldn't be in there anyway, that might not go to that level, that wouldn't ding and they wouldn't dump it. So I kind of shared that. As far as, folks not being able to get them, I know that, and this went the same, to be honest with you, with regular backpacks too. So I'm not saying it's just clear backpacks, but our principals have been reaching out, and I know that some of them got, a grant that would be able to cover some of that, whatever that might be, or other things. I know that another principal was able to get maybe 40 or 50 backpacks. So it seems like whatever you decide on that issue, there may still be an issue as to, if somebody needs help with a book bag, and we're going to work to help them, whether they're clear or not. But I do think, some people are having some plans and have some ability to gain it, should it stay this way, gain some clear bags. But I just want to be clear that issue remains, that we would help anybody.
Who should they go to in that situation? if they are having trouble getting a backpack? Like
I-
reach out to somebody ahead of time or?
Yeah, I would recommend that you would, you could either reach out to somebody in our guide and social department, or if they're not in, you could reach out to your principal if you feel more comfortable. I would say whoever the individual felt most comfortable sharing that information would be my advice. And then they would be able to get that, I don't want to say an exact person
Sure.
because maybe they feel more comfortable with so-and-so. So whoever you feel comfortable, I think all of our staff, no matter what their role is, if they hear that, will execute and get to the next level. So it's more about, in my professional opinion, who they feel comfortable stating that to, and knowing that somebody will work to try to help them, whatever decisions is made on the book bag or anything else that they may need. Like,
Now, and I've already seen many community entities, businesses. I think I've seen a few churches, and there's a number of people that are lining up to help people that may have an expense, may have to incur an expense that they just can't afford, just like they did last year, which is really an admirable. And if, regardless of how this turns out, I appreciate those that have raised their hands to help the people that can't necessarily incur this expense if it does go that direction. But again, my caution is this. There's nothing to, I voted for the scanners. There was a large cost involved in that every one of us taxpayers bears the weight of. When we see these things that happen in our school, when we see these things that happen in the news, we have learned first person that it doesn't just happen on the news. It can happen right here in our backyard. And I'm not going to have my name attached to something that takes tools away from the safe that helps provide another layer. No guarantee. There are no guarantees. If you're looking for guarantees, I think we found out the hard way there are none. But I'm not going to support or have my name on removing one more layer of a possibility of catching something that shouldn't come in this school. That's where I stand. But again, we're just debating. It's going to come to a vote. And any other comment before we do that?
I do have another question now that you said, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
For elementary, what's the feedback from the principals as far as elementary? Because they do not have bag checks.
when principal says, parent says it is a good thing for safety, and kids can still figure out some ways to be creative with the backpacks, they're in favor of it. The other person says they're in favor of it, and that even some designer brand name backpacks are available, such as Under Armour. Many parents have purchased these if they were able to.
Did they speak at all to why they want them to be used at the elementary level?
I mean, the main thing that I took from them was for some of the same reasons they could see in there, especially
them.
since they're not checking them. It's obviously a layer, as we're talking about. I think that's well stated. I've said it every time. These are just tools to try to help the process. If there was anything that we could do that could guarantee it, I think everyone would buy that, whatever it is across the entire nation and the world for that matter, but there isn't. So, I mean, for those same reasons,
The people that are around and watching when they come in, not that they're checking bags, but when they're
they
around and
could take a
watching.
look, they could see what's in there. If they have any concerns, they would be able to check it. That was the general gist.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. My comment is this, we're taking steps to increase safety. We bought the Evolve system. We had a committee that had the chief of police, staff members, board members, community members on it, all talking about safety. I don't understand why we would be going backwards at this point. It's a clear backpack. The Dollar Tree actually had them a few weeks ago. I know last year if kids, if their backpack broke, the office gave them new ones. They had extras. And as far as like the girls with the personal products, they were allowed to put them in a small makeup type bag. Because that would still slide through the scanner, even though it might be, I don't know, a floral or some colored bag. But I don't understand the point of going back after we've already done the clear backpacks. It's just one more layer of safety. And pretty much like Mr. Carpenter, I don't want to be the one that said, oh yeah, I voted it not, and then something else happened. Because nobody's life is worth that. So that's where I'm at.
Right, so the next step, if the board is finished debate on the amendment, is to take a roll call vote. So this is a motion to amend the items for your ultimate consideration, which is the adoption of the backpack of the handbooks. If you vote yes, you will be saying that you want clear backpacks removed from the handbooks for those areas, handbooks A through D. And if you vote no for this amendment, then you are saying that you want to keep the handbook the same as currently presented. Does anyone have any questions? I don't want the trick to be that you don't know what the vote is for or how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you?
All right, hearing no questions, we'll ask Mrs.
Okay.
Mueller for, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, she's telling Mrs. Fisher.
Okay. Yes.
I think Mrs. Kehoe is just making sure that Mrs. Fisher, who's on the phone and probably having a more difficult time hearing, understands the vote
She's
that we're
relaying
going to
what you
take.
said, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mrs. Scott
Mrs. Scott is not present for this.
Yes, it's true.
and Mrs. Fisher still on the phone.
Mrs. Fisher is on the phone. We'll just verify that she can hear us
Okay.
in a second.
All right.
We're good.
Okay.
Okay, and she's back on
Yeah.
speakers and ready for you.
Mrs. Farragonia,
No.
Mrs. Fisher,
Can't hear her.
Yeah.
Is she on speaker?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
what did, I'm
That was a
sorry.
no, I heard them.
Ms. Fitzko,
Yes.
Mrs. Kehoe,
No.
Mr. Kovacevic,
No, thank you.
Mrs. Ramasco,
No.
Mr. Zaki,
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter.
Yes, no.
Motion fails.
So with that, the board is free to continue moving. The items currently before you are items 1A through E as presented.
As well as,
I didn't.
2 and 3.
Sorry, I
I don't
didn't
think
finish.
we would read those yet. No, okay.
I was actually going to ask, do I need to take number 1 off of the table? And now it's probably too late because we tabled them.
That's another procedural motion. You can make a motion to table if you.
No, I'm sorry, take them
To
off.
remove from the table. It's
Should I
already
have-
been presented. I
So
would
we're
say-
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're already good. The board, it's already been presented and taken from the table for you
Okay.
with this published agenda.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Number 2, the 2025 Pennsylvania Summit for Educational Leaders. It is recommended to ratify the approval of Stephanie Hall's attendance at the 2025 Pennsylvania Summit for Education Leaders from August 3rd through August 5th, 2025 at the Nittany Lion Inn in State College Area High School, State College, Pennsylvania. All expenses, travel, lodging, meals are paid per board policy 331, job-related expenses. Registration fee paid through Right Promise grant funds. Any questions on that item? Okay, number 3, disposal of equipment at Ambridge Area High School. It is recommended to dispose of unusable, obsolete technology equipment included in our appendix, which is no longer used at the high school as per board policy 706.1, disposal of surplus property and obsolete equipment. Are there any questions on that item?
That's the appendix at the back of the.
Yes.
I just have a comment to let you know the ones that are being disposed of are, just to be clear, because I asked this question, so I'll just share with you. Because I was like, well, we would want to hold on to those as we transition. So all the ones that are on there are actually ones that are not either really old or, for example, the iPads are unrepairable. So the ones that could be repaired, we are still trying to hold them onto them, repair them as spares and those things as we do this. But the ones that are on that list, they would be on that point.
So there's some that were purchased prior to 2020, when the large purchase was.
Correct.
Okay.
So some of those are even just really old. And then there's other ones that are on there that other pieces of that equipment that actually broke. Because my question was, we want to kind of hang on to these while we're transitioning. If we continue through this process of adding additional Chromebooks, and in that process, we don't want to get rid of these other ones because we will need any spares. But the ones that are on the list, that we still have some of those as spares, but the ones that are on the list would not be repairable.
Thank you. Any other comments on any of those items?
All right. Did I hear a motion?
I'm
from
gonna
you?
motion, yeah.
Okay,
I will make a motion for items number 1 through 3 under education and technology.
okay. Thank you. Second.
Second.
Thank you. Roll, please.
Okay, we're going into roll.
Mrs. Farragonio,
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher,
Not the clear. No, yes, the clear, no, it's. Okay, that's fine, the clear backpacks. Yeah, so you have to vote. For the other items. This is for the other items.
No, it's for all three.
All three. Okay. You have to vote now. Go ahead.
Yes.
Hear that?
That was a yes for Mrs. Fisher.
Yes.
Ms. Fitzko,
Yes.
Mrs. Kehoe,
Yes.
Mr. Kovacevic,
Yes, please.
Mrs. Romasco,
Yes.
Mr. Zaggi,
No,
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Building and grounds, Mrs. Farragonio.
Thank you, President Carpenter. 3 items to discuss. First, the high school cafeteria boiler. It is recommended to ratify the purchase of a replacement boiler for the high school from Rayburg Appliance Services for a cost of $14,950.47. And this was the lowest qualified bid provided. Number 2, Tom Sipes demolition contract agreement. It is recommended to approve and ratify an agreement for demolition services with Tom Sipes Demolition in the amount of $85,000 for the removal, disposal, and grading of the high school visitor bleacher side. Number 3, the high school stadium lights. It is recommended to approve a proposal from Yates Electric to provide temporary power for the stadium lights during the demolition of the visitor side bleachers at a total cost of $4,289. Are there any questions on 1, 2, or 3?
I do have some questions. Number 3 for the stadium lights. I'm assuming these are the same lights. This is just something to power those lights, correct? It's not like they're providing.
Yes, this is going to run wiring instead of being hooked up
Yeah.
in there. It'll be hooked up to a generator, temporary. We'll have to rent the generators, but they will power the lights.
For number 2, what does that include? So that $85,000, I know removal, disposal, and grading. What all is included in that? What?
I think she's
Thing-
asking.
What all will it take down or?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I understand your question right, everything would be included for the 85,000, meaning visitor side bleachers, the pad that goes underneath the bleachers. If you wanted to, there'd be some additional steps, but you could include taking down the quarterback club buildings as well, all included in the 85, or you could eliminate any of it. It won't really reduce the cost, but they're willing to do it all or pieces of that for the 85.
And that includes the concrete pad.
It does.
So do we need to make a decision inside of this voting item as to whether or not we are removing all 3 of those items?
I think that you would be able to vote on it as such, but I do think that we would need some direction. So whether that is formally in the motion or somehow we note it here, I defer to the solicitor on the exact specifics of that. But since it's not going to change the price, you may not, I'll defer to her, but you may not need to change the motion. But I think it would be wise for us to discuss this action steps, whether you amend the motion or you don't, so that we could note that and let them know what is going to be done.
So the scope of the agreement presently addresses the dangerous structure, which at least my understanding has been identified as the bleachers and the concrete that supports it, both as part of the bleacher system and then the pad underneath. So that's what the quote is for. And that is what addresses at least the most immediate safety concern. The proposal that was received by this particular bidder does include at the district's election also some of those ancillary concrete structures that are in the same area. Now, we did inquire, and it doesn't, if you say no to the concrete structure, or if you eliminate or you keep those out, or if you add them, at least the feedback that we've received is that it will not change the bid it changes the scope. It does not change the bid. I would suggest that in the event that the board wishes to consider taking down those ancillary structures, that we do solicit additional bids or quotes. I believe that in all likelihood that demolition cost, if any indication is kind of correlated to Mr. Sipes's bid, should be under the legal advertising thresholds. So getting some quotes to help inform that, just so that you've taken all the steps necessary for bidding and procurement purposes.
Okay.
So the item before you is for the bleachers. I kind of look at it like we have in hand a BOGO, I guess, of sorts for those ancillary structures, at least from that particular bidder. We would go back and clarify that with him, and then make that opportunity probably open to others as well, just to make sure that we've satisfied our understanding. Also to make absolutely certain that the 85 would not come down or get bigger with those ancillary structures. The draft agreement right now is for the bleachers.
Okay.
Is next week for an answer too soon?
No, I don't think so necessarily. I think we can probably call around, and we have one in hand. We would ideally find two more folks who could give us some feedback on an estimated price.
Did we reach out
We
to
have
the
two.
Board
That's
of
right. We have
Health?
two in hand, actually. So
You have two in hand now?
correct.
Oh.
Or complete bids that would give some information about
Is
those
there a breakout on that?
ancillary structures.
I know that there's a breakout on those. I mean, if we're talking it through right now, that's fine. What I'm going to say to that though is some of that might be broken out based upon being there, getting the entirety of the job rather
Right,
than
a separate
mobilizing
visit.
for a separate
Which is
visit.
why I think it's fair to go back and make sure
So,
with all the
I
folks.
would say that we have a second company and we could say, what you could run into is people may not want to, you may have trouble getting people to say yes to that, or you may not, I don't know. Meaning we have to mobilize this for a smaller job. But
Right.
to your point, I'm thinking of that right now because the answer is could we get that done by a week? But you could call people asking them to do a larger job. You probably get more people to come out faster than asking somebody to do a smaller job. I don't know that. We will do what is directed and try to do that. I'm just explaining, if we called the secondary company that we called, we would have to explain that this is only for the small part. And then first they would have to say, well, yes, we're interested in doing it. And two, this is the cost, which I would say may or may not, most likely may not be the same as what they quoted as the breakout price because of mobilization and et cetera. I don't know that, but that's just what I would think.
And ultimately, that would be to give you information. But the most critical part, I would imagine, is whether or not you want to take down those structures or not, right?
Right.
Because if we know kind of what some of those prices in hand are, that starts to give you some good information. But there's still a separate issue for you as the decision makers to arrive at about whether or not you see value in taking those down or keeping them up.
So I guess from a from a logistical perspective, is this essentially a right time for a straw poll on that particular subject, knowing that it's not a separate line item?
Sure.
Or, I think I heard another question though there before I move on to that.
I did. Did we reach out to the quarterback club?
We did have Mr. Amadeo, who's been trying to schedule a meeting with the quarterback club. He did speak with them a little bit there, which is fine, but there was new leadership in the quarterback club. Some of the other folks have graduated. So what he basically explained at this point was, hey, for this year, it is probably unlikely that we're going to be able to use that. Are you okay with using a different concession stand that right now is vacant and available? And they seem to be, reasonably saying, yes, they were in agreement with that. It's his other things, I don't know if they, now I'm speaking to turn what he said in a conversation I wasn't part of, but my gist of what he said, I don't know if they were prepared to make a decision to say, yeah, I know we need that building, or no, we don't have the history or something like that, maybe is what he said. So in their defense, they're just getting started. So
Yeah.
I think they were gonna talk about it a little bit more, maybe with some other people, and maybe get back to him. I haven't heard the final outcome on that, other than they know that for this, at least this season minimum, we'd be using, they would be using the concession stand that kind of faces out to the parking lot.
And we're making sure that they have access to use their food, not their food truck, but the food truck that they bring in, correct?
Well, the food trucks, in conversation with both the fire chief and chief of police, along with us right now, we felt, they all felt that the best possible place, at least for now as a starting point, sort of be where currently we park the ambulance there. For those of you, it is on towards the visitor side in that corner though. And then kind of take a look at that. They were not in favor of, did not recommend, I should say, one on safety, one just on people trying to exit from the fire chief's perspective, of putting it in the main lot up top.
Kelly and I actually had a conversation with, I believe, the new president of their board, a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it was a short discussion, and Dr. Pascarell is right. She's kind of getting her bearings now too. She appreciated the heads up. That was kind of the point of the call, right? And she showed the same openness to make an adjustment, at least short term, but she didn't really have a gauge on the feelings long term. I guess that is a question for you though. Do you know of any other stakeholders that we don't know of yet that do have either may have strong feelings or have shared with you strong feelings one way or another?
Well, what I would say to that is, oftentimes in these situations, you have people that take it on for terms, right? They might run that institution while their child is involved in the program. So maybe they do it for a maximum of 4 years. Maybe some people say, I could give my time this year, but not next year, or what have you. So what I would say to that is, part of the reasons why I have recommended, although you might say to yourself, well, we're investing in an old building, why would we do that? Unless we have intentions of building something new out of that, which I don't know. I always feel like, even if one group who is still, their words through Tony, so I might be misspeaking, I apologize if I am to them, but don't have the experience yet and are just getting started, they may not even know if they would like to use that in the future. Secondarily, we haven't made a decision yet. My recommendation, as we said, in some level will be to put visitor side bleachers. So obviously, if you put visitor side bleachers, that's going to lean yourself more to saying, oh, it's helpful to have something on that side of the field. If the decision was made, we're not going to replace any bleachers. I'm not saying anyone said that. I surely didn't. Then that might change their thought too. I don't know. So I think part of that is, a program and who's running the boosters is for X amount of time. Some have done it in the past. These are just some of my thoughts. And with the turnover, I'm not sure. I'm not trying to dodge anybody's question. I just don't know if I could speak on their behalf.
Yeah, just from our conversation, she had said that she was unaware of any sentimental value, but again, she was brand new. But she did not know of any sentimental value and she was very concerned about, that's why I said the food truck. She was very concerned about the food truck because that is one of their main sources of revenue, to be able to feed the kids and get them their clothing and things like that for the season. So that was the one thing.
One thing I noticed, I will say this, and I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, some of you know to correct me. But one thing I noticed on the food trucks is I assume, which you should not do, is that they get a portion of that money from the food truck, as I understood it. But in addition to that, though, for me being there, sometimes, depending on what you want to eat, lots of great food. Please come out and watch the team, both from the band boosters and also the quarterback club, the food trucks. But what they seem to not allow those folks to do, as far as I could see, is sell any drinks. So, if you're like me, and that's that game, you get a snack from there, then you go and buy your drink. You usually end up maybe, getting a candy bar too. So then, I mean, those are some purchases that they're able to get that they wouldn't get if they don't have it. Because if you have those way over here and no building and you have to walk all the way over there, that kind of limit that. And some of the things, just thinking back a long time, is they do offer different things. Both are good. I'll vouch for that. And I try them both quite frequently, meaning all of our concession stands. But the locations of them being a little bit different, not that people won't walk one way or the other for what they want, that's true. But also some people in proximity on visitor side may go there too if you replace the bleachers. So that's what I'm kind of thinking of. And although it seems expensive for repairing of the building, should you say to keep it, which we don't know if these individuals will want to keep it or not, to your point. We don't know who's coming up next, that their kid might be in 6th or 7th grade who might want to do it. But if you lose the building as a whole and there's no other building, I mean, to get another one could be very costly, to build a new one. So that's kind of where I was at on it. Not as much sentimental as much, fundraising opportunities for them. But whatever's decided is decided. I didn't specifically speak, Mr. Amadeo did, and that was the general feedback.
So my recommendation is to put it on the agenda specifically next week. In the meantime, I can work with Amadeo to make sure that we have the prerequisites in place for you to make that decision. And then at that point, I think it will be clearly delineated for sunshine law purposes on the agenda. If there's any other stakeholders to solicit in the meantime, or public who is interested in sharing their comments, we'll have that opportunity. And you'll still have plenty of time if you want to take advantage of Mr. Sipes's offer to do so. And if you don't want to, then we'll have plenty of time to keep his contract limited, or you could pursue a different contractor for the exercise.
Are you saying?
You were gonna ask the same question.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but we can still vote to
Absolutely.
approve number 2.
Correct.
Okay.
That was
Right.
my.
And they,
Do 3 in conjunction, right? Because that would go with
Yes.
the demolition.
But we know we're all coming back on the separation
Mhm.
of the quarterback club issue.
Yep.
You say you're going to work with myself and Michelle on how to get smaller bids if there is enough straw pool interest in possibly taking it down. If there's not people that do not want to take it down, then I guess that wouldn't be an exercise that we need. That
so
doesn't.
they can start the demo if we vote on it. If it passes tonight, they can begin the
Well,
demo.
And there's a preliminary work that.
No, I
needs to
mean,
be done, but-
we're not halting them by waiting until next week.
You're not halting them, but equally as important is not, and their permits and their setup and everything that they have to do. Equally important, honestly, is number 3 though, because
Right.
we have to shut that electric down and then get it wired out before they could actually even start. He will need to have somebody verify that this has been, shut down before you start mobilizing, for lack of a better word. So I just am simply saying that 2 and 3 are sort of.
So essentially, the building structure we're talking about next week from a voting perspective.
Correct.
Does that hold up the contract for a week?
No.
Does that hold up him moving forward on the demolition for a week?
No.
Okay.
Perfect.
And I think, is there anybody opposed to that?
The only thing I would like to ask is that maybe we can get his opinion on the side of that concession stand.
Like where?
Like, is it actually attached? Is there some separation? Is it going to get damaged in the demolition? Like those kind of questions.
He
in the
did
atta-
say, and I asked him, I asked that because I was
Okay.
like, that's close.
Yeah,
He said it will take a little bit more time. You're gonna have to be more careful, is what I recall him saying in that area.
yeah.
Of course, on his end, he said, other than having to get the permits, it'd be easier on his end to do that. But he said that for the same price, he would pull that down without, no one can guarantee anything, but they feel relatively confident that they wouldn't damage. Correct? I mean, that's what I heard him
Correct.
say. Because I asked that, that's close. Are you gonna be able to do that? Well, we'd prefer not to, but if you want us to, we will.
I have two questions. We identified electricity, but there's also bathrooms that were underneath that facility. Are we concerned of water and sewer or potentially anything else that could have been underneath that stadium 100 years ago when they actually built it?
So two different things on that. In general, I would assume, and I defer on the contract to Michelle and Megan here, but that in order to do any of that, he's going to have to get the permit and see all that. And, oh boy, even I know this, but I'm drawing a blank on, you have to get it approved when you're going to dig.
PA1 call?
Yeah. That was it. Thank you. I'm assuming he's going to have to cover all that in what he's doing, and then he would find that out and adjust. The biggest thing I heard is hopefully there's a way that we don't damage that, should we want to use that in the future. And I don't know if he or I or anyone's going to answer because best of my knowledge, listening to some of you folks that have some background too, it hasn't been used in a while anyway. So I don't even know where it is as it stands now. I think from what I heard is you would mention that to him, Michelle, like if there's plumbing down there and you find that out, if it's savable and usable, I mean, let's try not to disturb that if we can.
And I was more concerned just because we call out the electricity usage and the contracting needed for that. I don't think he would necessarily be the qualified individual to do plumbing or water.
I would say that if there is a way that he goes through that and they just have to shut it off, we would have to get somebody to do some kind of shut off. If it is going there, you're probably right. I guess the reason why we got into the electricity, in my opinion, is because
The
that is
rewire.
actually on the wall that they're taking down.
Okay.
And I don't know the answer to that, but we could definitely write that question down. If you take out the pad, how deep is that and would you risk hitting it? I don't personally know that, but he should. And if he's worried about it, then we would have to get another professional.
And the pad was my second question. Is that something that we absolutely want to get rid of, or is that going to potentially be a great foundation for whatever bleachers or future project that we put on there?
That was my initial take. And Mr. Amadeo has tried to call quite a few people who, so the general quote for 750, this is not a quote, I should say, the ballpark that he was given from neighboring school districts for a 750 set aluminum was in the $130 some $1,000 range, 140 maybe. That didn't include installation. So he's trying to call people who would install that to, number one, get a cost on what that would be. And number two, to see if it would be beneficial to have the concrete pad. My original thought in my mind was like, the concrete pad doesn't look that bad. That would be nice to have. But at least the bleacher folks that sell it, as amongst other people, many opinions, I won't say the person that would actually could install them. Many of those folks thought, no, it wouldn't be in your best interest. It's going to break up a little bit when you take it down. It's not going to be, somebody else is not going to want to set those on top of there. That was their opinion. Did we hear that from an actual installer yet? No, but a multiple of folks who sell those bleachers and folks that, the demolition, other people just say, I don't think it would be wise to keep it.
Okay,
So I can make a motion. We will still be able to, with some of the outstanding items, still be able to approve 2 and 3 and make adjustments next week. moving forward.
Yeah, I would just, for the sake of having the flexibility, I would recommend that if you're prepared to adopt number 2, we would just add to the very end, subject to finalization. It might get tweaked a little bit if any of these pieces of information come back differently or in light of whatever conversation or decisions the board ultimately has next week. But this is enough of a green light, I think, for that particular individual to begin the permitting process, to continue the engagement, to get this project done as quickly as possible in light of the condition.
Do you need that amended? Like, do you need somebody to?
I think when you read the motion, if you could just add that to the end,
Subject.
subject to finalization of the solicitor.
Just for everyone, I did want to make one more thing for the public. So they understand. The generator at this given point, we will be renting them. We're getting prices for that. So there will be cost in that. The cost anticipated could be less, but it was somewhere around $2,500 to $3,000 a month. So just putting that out there. That doesn't really need to go on the agenda per se, but I think it's important to people that know. Somebody might say, you bought that generator? How much was it? Well, no, we're going to rent it. And there is some cost to that for the temporary, just so people know if you come to the game and see that.
But do you need me to read that
don't
with
think
No, so
subject to solicitor's review?
No, I think it would be,
Okay.
it's just my recommendation that the board is ready to consider adoption of items 1, 2, and 3 with the addition of a comma subject to finalization of the solicitor for number 2.
Okay.
I'd like to make that motion.
Make a motion to.
Second.
Second.
All right, roll please.
Mrs. Farragonia,
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher,
Kathy, you're up.
Ms. Fitzko,
Yes.
Mrs. Kehoe,
Yes.
Mr. Kavasik,
Yes, please.
Mrs. Ramasco,
Yes.
Mr. Zaggi,
No to 1, yes 2 and 3.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, thank you. Athletics, in lieu of Mrs. Fisher, I will read Athletics Handbook. It's recommended that the revised high school athletic handbook be adopted for the 25-26 school year. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve item 1. Second,
Second.
okay, second heard. Roll please.
Mrs. Farragonia,
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher,
I lost her for a second.
did I miss voting?
No, you're voting no.
Okay. Yeah. Ms. Fitzko,
Yes.
Mrs. Kehoe,
Yes.
Mr. Kavasik,
Yes, please.
Mrs. Ramasco,
Yes.
Mr. Zaggi,
Yes.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
motion carried.
Thank you. So now, in lieu of Mrs. Scott being out, any volunteers?
I'll do it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kavasik.
Personnel, all new hires pending receipt of satisfactory and current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, response by current former employees to Act 168 screenings and pre-certifications if applicable. Number 1, resignation. It is recommended to approve the resignation of Brianna Hunt from her position as an Ambridge area high school mathematics teacher, effective July 14th, 2025. With regret, the district reserves the right to retain the employee for 60 days statutory period or until they are relieved of duties, whichever occurs first. Number 2, resignation. It is recommended to approve the resignation of Lee Levi from her position as Highland Elementary School Learning Support, Emotional Support, Autistic Support, and Life Skills, all grade levels, effective August 15th, 2025. With regret, the district reserves the right to retain the employee for 60-day statutory period until they are relieved of their duties, whichever occurs first. Resignation. It is recommended to approve the resignation of Alexander Jewell from his position as an Ambridge Area Middle School English teacher effective August 12th, 2025. With regret, the district reserves the right to retain the employee for 60-day statutory period until they are relieved of duties, whichever occurs first. Resignation. It is recommended to approve the resignation of Molly Cleckley as the Ambridge Area School District Special Education Secretary effective August 29th, 2025. With regret, resignation. It is recommended to approve the resignation of Donovan Hopkins as the paraprofessional at Highland Elementary effective July 14th, 2025. With regret, resignation. It is recommended to approve the resignation of Marcia Guith as the paraprofessional at Economy Elementary effective July 17th, 2025. With regret, resignation. It is recommended to approve the resignation of Amanda Knox as a 5-hour cook at the high school effective July 25th, 2025. With regret, resignation. It is recommended to approve the resignation of Rayanne Smedley of a pre-K paraprofessional at Economy Elementary effective July 29th, 2025. With regret. Number 9, professional employee. It is recommended to approve Claire Speziani as a State Street Elementary 4th grade teacher at a salary of $50,981, step 1, masters, effective with the first day of the new teacher induction as per the terms of the Ambridge Area Education Association's AAEA PSEA agreement pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PDE certifications if applicable. Professional employee. Number 10, it is recommended to approve Michaela Havlinich as an Ambridge Area Middle School Learning and Emotional Support Teacher, all grades at a salary of $50,981. Step 1, masters, effective with the first day of the new teacher induction as per the terms of the Ambridge Area Education Association AAEA PSEA agreement pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PDE certifications if applicable. Number 11, professional employee. It is recommended to approve Chelsea Dugan as an Ambridge Area High School special education job coach, learning support, emotional support, autistic support, and life skills, all grade levels at a salary of $50,071. Step 1, bachelor, effective with the first day of the new teacher induction as per the terms of the Ambridge Area Education Association AAEA PSEA agreement pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PDE certifications if applicable. Number 12, professional employee. It is recommended to approve Abby Sobel as an Ambridge Area High School learning support, emotional support, autistic support, life skills, transition, special education teacher at a salary of $50,981, step 1, masters, effective with the first day of the new teacher induction as per the terms of the Ambridge Area Education Association AAEA PSEA agreement pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing responses by current former employers to Act 168 and PDE certifications if applicable. Number 13, professional employee. It is recommended to approve Jesse Whaler as an elementary STEAM teacher, all buildings at the salary of $50,981, step 1, masters, effective with the first day of the new teacher induction as per the terms of the Ambridge Area Education Association AAEA PSEA agreement pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PDE certifications if applicable. Number 14, professional employee. It is recommended to approve Victoria Stewart as an Ambridge Area High School mathematics teacher at a salary of $50,071, step 1, bachelor's, effective with the first day of new teacher induction as per the terms of the Ambridge Area Education Association AAEA PSEA agreement, pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening and PDE certifications if applicable. Paraprofessionals. It is recommended to hire the following individuals to fill the paraprofessional positions as per the terms of the Ambridge Area Education Support Professional Association, ESPA, PSEA, NEA collective bargaining agreement pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening. Kim Robinson Middle School, Gabriella Godby, pre-K and Highland Elementary. Number 16, mentor teacher. It is recommended to approve the following mentor teachers' assignments for the 2025, 2026, and 2026, 2027 school years as per the negotiated agreement. Mentor teachers, Lisa Kovach, Chelsea Benedict, Jennifer Axe, Heidi Bober, Kent Withrow, Bonnie DeAngelis, Tom Frost, Bonnie DeAngelis, it's on here twice, Susan McKenzie. New teachers, Mia Bocabella, Samantha Banks, Justin Egizio, Mikaela Pavlinich, Victoria Stewart, Chelsea Dugan, Jesse Whaler, Abby Sobel, Claire Spaziani. Permanent contract. It is recommended that the following professional staff who will have completed 3 years of satisfactory service in the Ambridge Area School District be awarded permanent professional contracts. Miranda Swartz, Sarah Schaefer, Hannah Joswiak, Anna Rubaker, Lee Levi, Corey Kavanaugh, Emily Schultz, Ethan Becker, Alex Jewell, Zachary Dugan, Alexis Kogas. Not done. Number 18, posted positions, clubs and activities. It is recommended that the following individuals who have applied for the specified posted positions for the 2025-2026 school year be approved at the rate of the pay as per the collective bargaining agreement, provided the school year allows for and sponsors are able to hold activities as normal. Activities and clubs, tech production, Benjamin Holmes, Kristen Holmes, $450 stipend. Technology Student Association, Benjamin Holmes, $1,350. JR Drill Team, Kara Russo, $1,200. Robotics Club, Benjamin Holmes, Kristen Holmes, $235. Video Production Club, Benjamin Holmes, $470. Unified Club, Ashley Schmidt, Anna Mild, $235. Teen Leadership, Kim Bogatti, $470. Chess Club, Terry Kutsevich, $470. Activity Club Middle School, Student Council, Sarah Yanessa, Kelly Hartley, $235. Interact, Aaron Wolf, $470. Science Explorers Club, Gianna Sinatra, $470. Technology Student Association, TSA, Scott Setzenfand, $470. Number 19, posted positions, department heads and building heads. It is recommended that the following individual who has applied for the specified posted position for the 2025-2026 school year be approved by the salary designated in the negotiated agreement pending receipt of current clearances and drug screening. Departments heads, K through 12, Applied Sciences and Technology, Benjamin Holmes, $1,365. Number 20, 2025-2026 coaches. It is recommended that the following individuals be approved to fill designated coaching positions for the 2025-2026 school year at the salary as per the terms of the collective bargaining agreement, pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening, provided the school year allows coaches to hold sports as normal. Girls tennis, Megan Recipio, head coach, $4,300. Ty Baker, assistant coach, $1,050. Joseph Fortune, volunteer coach, no remuneration. Number 2, boys golf, Zach Dugan, assistant coach, $1,050. Boys basketball, Craig Wiltrek, middle school coach, $1,750. Marlon Kittrell, middle school coach, $1,750. Wrestling, Larry Knopfsnyder, head coach, $4,300. Number 21, Principal Certification Practicum. It is recommended to approve Kristen Folk, a student enrolled at Robert Morris University, to complete her Principal Certification Practicum at State Street Elementary, pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and response by current former employers to Act 168 screening. Kristen will be placed with Miss Jo Ann Hoover. Number 22, ABC Transit Bus Driver Aid. It is recommended to approve the individuals listed as operators, attendance, and maintenance for ABC Transit, Inc. for the 2024-2025 school year, pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening. Bus Driver, Christopher Bologna, Amy Frollo, John Graham, Justin Hockenberry, Don Holt, David Jordan, Melanie Lipscomb, Michael McScorley, Kevin Rowland, van driver, Donald Walker, Maureen Reed. Number 23, 2025-2026 summer band camp ratification. It is recommended to ratify the following band camp position for the 2025-2026 summer band camp at the designated stipends, pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testings, and responses by current former employers to Act 168 screening, provided band camp can be held as normal. Auxiliary assistant, Evie Jankowski, $1,300. Number 24. Cafeteria food service union worker. It is recommended to hire the following individuals as cafeteria food service union workers in accordance with the terms of the collective bargaining agreement pending receipt of current clearances, satisfactory drug screening, TB testing, and responses from current or former employers to Act 168 screening. Gloriana Tenney, 4-hour cook at Economy Elementary. Chelsea Grimm, 4-hour cook at Economy Elementary. Are there any questions?
Good job.
No questions, just one comment, and it's just it's just the years on item number 22, the ABC transit bus drivers should reference this current school year, which is the 25-26 school year. And I thank the ABC folks for flagging that from the audience.
Thank you. I have a couple just quick things for clarity. Back on page 5. Just to make sure it's not a typo, Bonnie DeAngelis is mentoring 2 folks, right? Okay, good, thank you. And then another point of clarity, these coaches, I assume Megan Recipio, Ty Baker, Joseph Fortune under girls tennis. I guess I saw one that is, I saw boys basketball middle school, but I don't see locations for wrestling, girls tennis, or boys golf. Are they all high school?
Yes. So what we typically do, and June's done this for quite some time, is when they come in, we kind of follow the not kind of, she follows the language, and we did miss one little typo, which she corrected. But she follows the language that's in the CBA. The only thing she really does change is where it says junior high in the CBA. That language still hasn't been cleaned up. We say middle school. But other than that, if it doesn't say that middle school, then it should either say head coach, or it is assumed then that it is the high school. So the one idea is you could just list every building every time, but that is not exactly how the language is listed in the contract at this point. So we try to hold as close to the titles that we can that are listed in there.
Okay, and I assume this band camp position is a retro approval, right?
Yes, it is. It says ratification, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's all I have. Any others?
Just number 17, the permanent contract. I think Lee Levi and Alex Stoll had their resignation, so we could probably remove them.
No, they still stay on actually, because once you complete 3 years of satisfactory teaching in any school district, you
Oh,
get
really?
permanent contracts and you get tenure. And to be honest with you, solicitor could weigh in on it, but that's a state rule anyway. Boards approve it, but not that anyone would vote no. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that, but even if you did, they would still get it anyway.
And it'll carry over to any other.
School. So that's where you get your tenure. So once you get tenure in one place, forever your tenure will be where you had 3 satisfactory
Mhm.
teaching years. No matter what you go on to do, you earn tenure there, and that is it.
Thank you.
All right, with that, is there a motion to approve 1 through 24?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Roll, please.
Mrs. Farragonio,
Yes.
Mrs. Fisher,
Yes, we're voting.
Yes. Ms. Fitzko,
Yes.
Mrs. Kehoe,
Yes.
Mr. Kvasevich,
Yes, please.
Mrs. Ramasco,
Yes.
Mr. Zaggi,
I'm going no for number 20, number 3A, yes for all others.
Mr. Carpenter,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to non-voting agenda items, education and technology, Mrs. Ramasco again.
Thank you, President Carpenter. Number 1, foster care youth transportation MOU. It is recommended to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Ambridge Area School District and the Beaver County Children and Youth Services to establish transportation procedures to ensure the educational stability of foster care youth. Any questions on that item? That's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Romasco. Finance and Budget, Mr. Zetsche.
School district monthly bills and salaries. It's recommended that the monthly school district bills in the amount listed and the monthly school district personnel salaries, the amount listed, be paid. Cafeteria, it is recommended that the monthly cafeteria bills and the monthly cafeteria salaries in the amounts listed be paid. In tax exemption, it is recommended to approve the requested real property tax exemption for the address 412 River Glen Drive, Economy Borough, parcel listed for 2024 school taxes as certified by the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, letter dated May 6, 2024. This is all this evening.
All right, thank you. Any questions on that? All right, Building and Grounds, Mrs. Farragonia.
Thank you, President Carpenter. One additional item is crossing guards. It is recommended that the crossing guards be placed at locations throughout the Ambridge Area School District for the 2025-2026 school year as listed below. 10th Street and Dust Avenue, 5th Street and Dust Avenue, 8th Street and Dust Avenue, 15th Street and Church Street, and State Street and Harmony Road. Any questions on those locations for crossing guards?
All right. Thank
That's all
you,
I have.
Mrs. Farragonia. Athletics, in lieu of Mrs. Fisher, I'll take that one. It's recommended to approve a bid proposal from Fair Oaks Bowling Lanes to provide a venue for the high school bowling team for a 3-year term beginning 2025 to 2026. I think that's pretty customary, isn't it?
Yes,
They've been our home. All right,
home facility.
very good. Any other questions?
I have a question, not about bowling though. Under athletics. Is our tennis team still, are they still playing is it Hopewell or Brady's Run?
My understanding last was, and we'll just double check it, but
Okay.
that they were co-oping with Hopewell and using their tennis court.
Okay.
It was actually the Ambridge team that got the co-op, but we were using their facility. I think those are 2-year extensions on that, as I recall. So I'll take a note to follow up and make sure that co-op is still occurring, but to the best of my knowledge, it is.
Do they also practice over there?
I want to say yes, but I'm not 100%. They may go for the tennis practices. They may go
Go to
to
Brady's Run.
Brady's Run Park, but I think I know, but I don't know. So I
Okay.
can get you the answer on that. So first of all, co-op with Hopewell still happening.
I only ask because somebody recently asked me about the Economy Borough, Economy Park that has the tennis court up there. I just was curious why we don't utilize that.
It seems to me like sometimes we did, but I don't want to say that either. I'm in all that. I just remember that Hopewell's court was used for the games in particular. And then they asked to co-op with us and we
Right.
did that. Where the practices, if we are going all the way over there or due to the sake of time, we're doing it more around here or mix.
Yeah,
I'll have to ask Mr. Amadeo.
okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, anything under public relations or legislative, Ms. Fitzko?
No, nothing this evening. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Steering and rules, Mrs. Kehoe.
Item number 1 is policy 105.1 curriculum review by parents/guardians and students. It is to update policy 1051.1 to ensure that parents/guardians have an opportunity to review instructional material and curriculum. Any questions? Item number 2 is policy 1052 exemption from instruction, first reading. It is recommended as a first reading to update policy 105.2 to comply with the requirement of the State Board of Education to assure parents/guardians the right to have their children excused from specific instruction that conflicts with their religious beliefs. I think you have both of those attached to your papers this evening. Are there any questions? That's all I have.
All right, thank you. I'd just like to say I'm excited about the start of another great year. Looking forward to seeing the band out there again shortly. I'm not a big fan of winter being cold, but I'm excited for a few summer games, and I'll probably go to the winter games too. I do want to thank ABC for coming out tonight. Thank you. It's good to see everybody. Sorry I missed last month, but I was out of town. But I'm looking forward to another great year, and I wish all the students, I wish all the parents, I wish all the teachers and staff members and administrators a great year, and I wish you the best. So with that, I will defer to Dr. Pascarella.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to thank everyone. There's so many moving parts when you go and looking at the work over the summer from all of our staff that provided, services over the summer, staffs that got our buildings ready and got ourselves prepared. Everyone's working so hard and diligently to try to have the school year go off as smooth as possible. So I just want to thank each and every one of them because I know they're pouring their heart and soul into trying to make sure it goes the best they can for our students. And to our students, it's great, like you said, to see some of them in their different activities or orientations starting to float back into school. Hopefully they enjoy the last portion here of their summer break. And it's been a safe and rewarding summer for them, and we look forward to welcoming them back here soon. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our esteemed, I'm never going to stop. Solicitor.
Puts you on. No, I appreciate that. No, and I look forward to offering my modest bit of help for opening day for teachers next week. And anything, as always, that the administration or the board or the staff need, the board needs, please let me know, and I'm happy to assist.
Thank you. Ms. Fitzko has brought to our attention a very good point here this evening. Before I read old and new business, I'd like to ask that we allow anybody with questions relating to ABC. I've heard that many of them have long drives home. So any questions related to ABC, that we allow those folks to come to the microphone first. And then once they're done, then we'll address everybody else. So it's now time for old and new business. Any district resident who desires to comment on any business relevant to the Ambridge Area School District should now come forward. Each person must state their first and last name and address prior to speaking. Each person will be allowed 3 minutes and can speak only once. This period for public comment prior to the standing committee reports will be limited to 1/2 hour.